I get those goosebumps every time.
I just have to get the big fella off the bench.
Could this be their last chance now? In it comes, Monster to the post! He scored! Ali Monster scored!
I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too numb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that line to throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713 through the 281, yeah, I'm driving. Why they on me outside? Yeah, sipping low key and high, yeah. It's my water. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those times, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the high.
Hello. We are back again for a massive show. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC. Boys, before we get our guests out, how are we? Nervous about the game? How are we feeling?
No, bring it on, Pete. Oh, good. We got these. Into these. We can take them. Top that group. Still the dream.
Chris, how you doing, fella? How you
good,
feeling?
mate.
Are you as confident as Dad?
Yeah. No, I think we'll do the job tonight, and if we can come away with 3 points tonight, top the group, 7 points, got to be happy. But yeah, I think we'll do them tonight.
Good stuff. Well, I'm of the same mindset, but I wonder if our guest is of the same mindset as well. As you can see, our post behind us, we've got the main man in the building. So let's get him in. Let's get Brian in right now.
Let's get the big fella off the bench. Here he is.
There we go. Into the back post, lads. How's it going?
Hey, welcome, Brian.
Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
No. Well, it's been a while, hasn't it? We spoke for a while to try and sort it out. And I know your schedule is incredibly busy with everything you do. So first and foremost, from all of us at Loaded Mag, massive respect for you taking the time to come and join us on the show. And look, we'll briefly start with the team news, actually, just because it's fresh off the bat and it's out there. So, as we expected, there's been some normal kind of. I don't know if you got the picture, Daz. In fact, I'll just get it up there. Don't know if you've seen it, Brian, yourself, but as we expected, Lascelles is in at centre back. We've got the midfield of Joe Linton, Longstaff, and Bruno, and the front three again of Almiron, Gordon, and Isaac that beat PSG. What are you thinking today? What are your thoughts going into this game? How big is this game to you, mate?
Well, for me, Joe Linton being back is massive because with the Tonali thing going on, we're probably all a bit bummed out about it. But for me, when Newcastle are at their 100% best, Joe Linton is in the side and having a good game. Like when he's playing well, usually we absolutely rampant. So having him coming back, having Willock coming back is definitely making us feel a lot better about losing a £60 million signing for 10 months. And to be honest with you, that I just think we've seen so much good from Joe Linton. That's my biggest positive and biggest takeaway. And thrilled to see Anthony Gordon in the squad again. He's been my favourite player this season. I don't know about you, lads. So I'm really positive. Yes, Dortmund are in the top four. They're 2 points off of the top of the league in Germany. I would say the level that they're at, like Bayern Munich, are not even top of the league. That's how strong that league is this season. So, but I fancy it. Like Yusuf said, I really fancy it.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, Brian just said he's a big Gordon fan. I'm going to come to you because I know you're a big Gordon fan as well. Look, he's got the ability to destroy the fullbacks tonight at Dortmund, hasn't he? And properly set himself alight in the Champions League. He's playing the best football of his career, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when he made a bit of a slow start, didn't he, when he first joined? And a few people were kind of not having a go at him, but a few people were a bit unsure as to whether or not we paid too much money for them. Was he going to fit in? Was he going to be able to get himself up to the Eddie Howe levels? And he started the season absolutely fantastically. And that 45 million is now starting to look like a bit of a snip, especially given the under-21 tournament that he had for England. Now I think a lot of my Everton mates are still convinced that we've overspent on him, but I'm more than happy with Anthony Gordon. And I think, for us to get it for the price that we did, 40 million rising to 45, I think it's great value. He's been integral this season, and when we missed him against West Ham, I thought it was a big gap when he was suspended. So the fact that we've brought him in now, and he's come back, had a great performance again at the weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing him tonight, and I think he's going to cause Dortmund some problems this evening.
Definitely, Dad. I'll come to you with the other man that I wanted to discuss, who's in that team, and I'll just drop it up on there again. Sean Longstaff. He's been getting his flowers recently, and his level of respect from all corners of the country at the moment in time. But I'm sure we called this back in November last year.
Yes, we could clip that. We did. We called it all about nearly a year ago at this stage, and yeah, he's an integral figure in that squad. And yeah, how is Southgate not looking at him? I want to snap him up for Ireland. I've said it to you. If we can find some Irish for Ireland, but no, he's integral. And once if he goes missing, then we're in trouble, especially with what's coming with Tonali.
Yeah, definitely. Brian, are you a Longstaff fan? Are you loving the work that he's putting in this season?
I've been converted. I'll be honest. I wasn't always there because technically, I thought he was miles away from a lot of the other players. And I thought when we started to level up, I was like, he'll be one of the first casualties because technically, he's just, to me at the time, I thought, is he going to be a Champions League level footballer? And honestly, he's made us eat me words completely. He's been fantastic this season. I knew he could graft, but he's actually shown he's a footballer as well. And that's why rightly said, about England, how on earth Calvin Phillips, who hasn't barely kicked the football in 2 years, and Jordan Henderson, who's not even playing in a proper football league, are getting in the squad, and Longstaff is outplaying PSG in the Champions League. I know Newcastle players are always ignored. It's been there for decades. It's been that way. But this is criminal. And Anthony Gordon as well. So, yeah, I agree with the lads.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I think it's only a matter of time that he's going to be wearing the whites of England. That's for sure. He's going to keep putting these performances, no doubt. But look, as we stick with the midfield, we will come on to another midfielder that I know, there's been a bit of an update with today. But first of all, housekeeping. If you haven't click the like to this show and subscribe to the channel. And yes, as many have put in the chat, yes, the big man is here. Brian is here joining us unloaded. There's a few people that can't believe it, Brian. But it just goes to show, how well you're thought of. There's been so many positive comments in the chat. Everyone's buzzing to have you as part of the channel, and we've got a fantastic community here.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
People, put your questions in the chat with regards to anything football related to Brian, and if we've got a few minutes before the end of the show, we'll fire a few questions at him. What I will do now is turn to his Longstaff's midfield counterpart, Sandro Tonali. Now, there has been an update. A number of journalists have reported this morning. And of course, Fabrizio Romano also mentioned that looks like he's going to be banned for 10 months. He won't be able to play over that period of time, of course. There has been talks that, he may well be available tonight, and he's on the bench. But interestingly as well, he may well be able to train with the lads, which I think is a huge plus. But look, Brian, I want to get your thoughts on all of this, really, and how it's kind of transpired and how it's come along. What are your thoughts about all things Sandro Tonali, mate?
I was debating it with my lads on the kickoff because they're quite impartial, and a lot of them had quite a hard stance of break the rules to get what you deserve. But I don't think Tonali or Tony, who also got banned not long ago, if you're a gambling addict, and look, I think there's a lot of debate on what's an addict, and I don't think football fans are really the people that decide that. But if experts can look through the betting patterns and look at what they've done and look for corruption, look for genuine addiction and really figure out what we're dealing with here. Of, is he a match thrower? Is there a scandal here? Or is this a guy being a bit of an idiot and not knowing when to stop and not knowing what to be betting on and all of that? I think there should be different punishments. And it feels like there's a very blanket approach of, it doesn't matter whether he's match fixing or not. It doesn't matter what he's done. He's guilty of betting, therefore ban him. He's a footballer. He gets paid plenty of money not to do that. No sympathy. And, you know, when so many betting sponsors are all over the Premier League, it just seems quite stupid to me. And look, if he's been match fixing, I get it, like a year ban, 4-year ban, whatever it is. But if he's just been betting, I feel like 10 months is a mega amount of time to take out of a player's career. And I am angry at him. I'm not just being like sympathetic here. I feel like you've come through the door. We're all excited to see you. Now you're in this situation. You've been an idiot. But equally, who hasn't made stupid mistakes in their life? And I do have to sort of, when he comes back, he owes us big time. That's one thing I will say. Like, if he comes back and he's flat, I'm going to be on him from the get-go. But I really like. I hope he can train though, because for me, the mental. I mean, if the guy's got mental health issues, like we're being led to believe, and then you just tell him to sit on the couch for 10 months, I mean, that's not going to help anyone. So I hope he can at least train, and I hope they can. I think in future they need to reevaluate football as betting and whether it's corruption or actually just addiction. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now, lads.
Definitely. Look, and Chris, like, I was going to say, you come in on that because, to be fair, everything you've just said, Brian, is everything in essence in what each one of us
so much,
said.
Isn't it? It's so much for us to all take in. But like, we were so excited about this guy, and now what? It's turning into a nightmare.
Definitely. Like, from your point, in fact, no, Daz, we'll come to you because Brian's just said something that you said, because we did a show, Brian, a couple of weeks ago when it all kind of brought out, and me and Daz did the show, and we were kind of both ends of the spectrum. Daz was raging. He was absolutely.
I went full through Geordie on it, right? Yeah, that's right. And I'm glad to see you watch our show, Brian, because a lot of the things he said, because I watched your show there yesterday, I think, but no quality. But yeah, no, as you just said there, I said as well that when he comes back, he owes us big time. He needs to hit the ground running. And I even heard talk today though that he might be allowed to train. I don't know how true that is, because that is unusual. But if that Eddie Howe will have him running up and running anyway. But it'd be nice for him to hit the ground and come straight back in first and be hungry as hell.
It's a shame he's going to miss the I think it's the tournament in the summer as well, which could have gotten him fit for the Premier League. Yeah. And also his ban is longer than Ivan Toney's. So like there was such a narrative where literally the news story broke, Twitter's all over, and there's so many accounts of other football fans from other clubs saying, you know, he needs to be banned equal to Toney or it's racism and all of this. And he's been banned longer than Toney. And it made me, you know, that whole thing, I don't know if you guys felt this. It made me realize just how many other clubs fans are now seeing us as a threat, because the guy, there was no knowledge of what he'd done. There was nothing out there, and they were baying for blood. And I was like, you motherfuckers see us as a real threat now, because I can't believe they even care, but they really did care. Like everyone was like 5 years or nothing. You know what I mean? Mental.
Definitely, they are now. That they are. Like, I've just been on after work looking at some of the tweets, and it's not the Newcastle fans. You're absolutely right. It's everybody else. They are kicking off. You've even got like Real Madrid and Barcelona fans and PSG fans that are going and saying it has to be 3 years, and it's like they are not happy at all, which makes me smile. Even my smile gets bigger the more I see all of
global.
Yeah. Look, I think. If we'd have been spanked by PSG, would it have been the same energy? I'm not sure. But now we're looking like we're really onto something. They want to see anything go wrong for us desperately.
What were your thoughts about that PSG? What were your thoughts? But like when that was happening, and we were dismantling one of the top teams in Europe. What was your thoughts? Because obviously you obviously were on the kickoff and you were giving your reaction and all the rest of it. But like, just what was going through your mind when that was happening?
So, I mean, this happened a lot last season, like with the Spurs game, for example. But at the start of the season, when Newcastle pumped Villa, I turned to my mate who was a Spurs fan and I said, because he was like, wow, like this is unbelievable. And I went, we'll do this plenty of times this season. And it's not because I think like we're unbeatable or whatever, but when an Eddie Howe team gets its foot on the opposition's neck, they're finishers. Like in boxing, you know, like some boxers are just finishers. Eddie Howe is a finisher of a manager. And when you're on the ropes, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion you're going to get knocked out by an Eddie Howe team because they're just relentless. So once the first couple went in, it just momentum is a powerful thing, and at St. James's with Eddie Howe's heavy metal tactics, I wasn't shocked, but it wasn't shocking that Eddie's team were doing it. It was shocking from where we'd come from. Like, how long did it take to get here? This is absolutely ridiculous. I thought it might happen, but not at light speed. And just taking a little segue, did you guys see Eddie Howe and Kevin Keegan together? That was a nice moment, wasn't it?
Yes. And I heard something today, I think it could have been from Keith Downey, a quote where he came in with his wife and he looked at the Sheffield United match and, oh, look, Newcastle are 3-0 up. And his wife said, oh, they're actually 8-0 up. So, like, it's classic Kevin Keegan.
But that was another one. Like, you watch Sheffield United versus Man United the other day. I watched that. And honestly, Sheffield United played Man United off the park for a lot of that game. Yeah. And I thought to myself, this is our competition. Man United, they're fucking shite. Like, and look, they've got match winners, so they get away with it. But as a team, we look a different beast to Man United. And look, it'll take a while for that to take effect. But I think Eddie Howe's got everything it takes to go all the way, personally.
Well, we're not too far away because, Chris, I dropped you a message last night because we were watching the game against FC Copenhagen, and I was just I tell you what,
shocking,
they were absolute shite. And like, Chris, you were saying it as well. Like next Wednesday, and you're there, you're at Old Trafford. We could seriously turn them over in the Carling Cup.
Absolutely. I think this is the exciting thing about Eddie Howe's teams, isn't it? It's the fact that we've got the best press, we've got the most energy, and it's the way that he's. It's not, most fans or most outside fans will turn around and say, oh, you've spent your way there. A few of my mates say it to me and they go, oh, you've spent your money, you've got yourself there. But it's about the coaching, isn't it? And we all know as Newcastle fans that that's certainly not the case. I mean, somebody pointed out at the weekend, which was a great point, that we had 8 English players in the starting 11. And a lot of those players were under the previous regime with Steve Bruce. And Eddie Howe's come in, and not only has he pinpointed and brought in some fantastic new players, but he's also coached and developed the existing players. And as Brian rightly said, how far we've come in such a short period of time is beyond everybody's expectations. And now you're thinking, where are we going to be in like 12, 18, 24 months? Where are we going to be? Because at the moment,
that's a scary thought for us, isn't it? Do we have to sort of tape our expectations then? Because like it's still like tonight, Shaw and Lascelles centre backs. That's £7 million on them too. And that's where I have to again give more credit to Eddie Howe, but also like Jamal Lascelles, right? I've always thought he was a bit better than what other fans rated him, but at one point I thought you're finished here. Like and to come in and to cover for Botman the way he has, I mean, I'm really happy for him. Fair play.
Yeah.
But Botman's been out for a month. You wouldn't have known it.
Nah.
And he might get back in.
I've been saying to the Man United lads on the kickoff, right? And they laugh in my face, right? It's fucking annoying. I'm like, Lascelles is better than Maguire. Make no mistake about it. I would like it. For me, it's not even close, in fact. But they won't listen. So
yeah, I don't think you'll get many that would disagree with that in this chat. That's for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But no, I would agree. Yeah, he scored the goal yesterday, but he was honking at times.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. And we always say the same thing. I think when we play against Man U, and we've said it. I think every time we played them for the last year or so. Please, I hope Maguire's starting because you've got a chance. So the next time that they start rambling on with you on your show, mate, you need to tell them what's what.
Mate, I'm praying for them to keep Ten Hag because he's absolutely a fraud. Like this whole Dutch football, it's non-existent, man. And when we watched the Arsenal game the other day, and Arsenal Chelsea, and the Arsenal lad goes, we got lucky today. We played bad. We got out of jail. Individual brilliance saved us. And I thought that's literally Ten Hag from last season. And the only reason he's getting exposed this season is because Rashford ain't on form or Bruno Fernandes ain't on form to dig him out of trouble. Whereas Eddie is a proper system manager, and you can take players out like Botman and put different ones in, but because the system's so strong, it works. And that's such a good coach, Eddie. Like,
oh, yeah, he is
absolutely.
You don't have to tell us twice. We've been waxing lyrical ever since you walked through the door. But are there any questions that we can put Brian's way? But just whilst we're looking through that, we also need to plug that we are going live for the watch along tonight. We'll be kicking off just before kickoff, so keep an eye on that on the channel. Brian, you're going live as well, aren't you? You going live?
Yeah.
For yours?
I've been enjoying watching more Newcastle than ever in the midweeks. Like, it's lovely. And then hopefully we'll get Man United out of the way in the cup as well. That'd be nice.
Brian, I have a question for you as Chris is looking at the questions to go with there. But back to Tonali, right? What's your thoughts on that? AC Milan may have allegedly known something about this betting this upcoming case, I guess.
I think Italian football is the most corrupt football, so I'm automatically suspicious in terms of match fixing and all of that. Even the way he got caught with these, apparently his mate dobbed him in or whatever. I don't know how true it all is, but for me, he was Mr. Milan, right? He was a boyhood player, and I don't know if they needed the money, but it raised eyebrows among the footballing world that they would sell him to us, and it seemed like a real, steal. So if it seems too good to be true, it usually is, right? And I'm 50-50, but I would expect them to have known, to be honest with you. But that means that then he knew, and if we find out that he knew and he lied to us, for me, that's sackable, really, because then you're basically a co-conspirator at this point, man. Like, it's so if we find out he knew, I think the club would have to keep that very hush hush. Otherwise, I don't know if the fans would forgive that.
True news.
Yeah, there's one Dan Man United fans in the chat. Welcome, Dan. Hope you're well. By the way, Brian, Dan obviously is a Man United fan. He thinks that Johnny Evans and Maguire will keep Isak and Wilson quiet. Now, I call bullshit on that, but I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, they've had it easy, mate. Look, we've got the most potent strike force in the Premier League. That's statistically. So I think we've done really well. And Eddie has balanced those two so well, like to keep them both happy, both firing. So I think that this is one of the best strike duos in terms of one in, one out we've seen in the Premier League in a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think we're all nodding in agreement.
Absolutely.
There. But, Dan's also put on there, obviously, you talk about me and my brandy. I do like a brandy when I'm on the show. And he does like.
I'm a whiskey man myself, mate.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to talk.
Do you drink Conor McGregor's one?
I've tried it once, but it's all right, to be fair, but it's not the best, is it? There's better ones out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's but question for the main man: would you bring back Nile Ranger?
Oh, bless him. Where is Niall? God, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what's weird? Is that kind of made me, but I don't feel good about what happened to his career. Like, young lad from London, probably in with the wrong crowd, had talent, could have made something of himself, and then it's a shame it didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like lots of clubs that he went to before and after Newcastle, he could have made it and he showed his quality, but it just other factors came into play. It's a little bit like, remember Ravel Morrison?
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Everybody says the same. And actually, Dan Lawless, one of our West Ham friends, he did an interview with is it James Collins, ex-centre back at West Ham, and he said Ravel Morrison is the best player I've ever played with. He was unbelievable. But it was just other factors outside of football that affected him. And Nile Rangers exactly the same, unfortunately. The last I heard, he was playing non-league football somewhere. But it's a shame because he had the potential.
I remember when I bumped into Shearer and he told us he went when I was manager of Newcastle. Niall turned up for training in the morning, and he peels his lip back and he had a fucking tattoo across his lip. And do you know Shearer? I was like, he's probably a northern like gentleman, right? And he's like, he just said, I just shook my head and thought, what the fuck is that? It did make us laugh because you just imagine like Alan Shearer thinking, what, you got a fucking tattoo on your lip for, mate? Like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? Jesus.
Not just Shearer, just everybody in life.
Yeah. But of all people, to think Shearer's going to love that, you've got the wrong guy. Like, you know what I mean?
You've got to impress him.
Honestly.
It's a question
Imagine
here
Shearer
from...
says, oh, that's cool as fuck, that. I don't think so.
Question here from Rich Joblin. Evening, Rich. Question for Brian. Have you recovered from that Fury interview?
Oh, yes. Big Tyson. I just think it's a good laugh for me now. Like, you know, I didn't, as much as I think he's a bit of a prick because no one can ever question him and he's got a really high opinion of himself. I'm glad I did it. And I kind of thought it was going to happen when I kind of told me mate when I'm going to pick a fight with a heavyweight champion of the world, which is, look, I'm glad it's on the phone. But I was respectful. Do you know what I mean? I think when you can't even be respectful to a guy and he's still a prick to you, then you know, like, that's who he is, isn't it? Yeah. I hope Francis Ngannou knocks him clean out this weekend, but I don't give him I don't give him much of a chance. Like,
now, what do you think is going to be a clear Fury win?
Yeah, I think he'll just absorb all the punches early on till Francis gets tired, and then he'll just pick him apart and he'll make it look really quite comfortable. I just think Francis should just run at him like a lunatic and risk everything in the first minute or so, and hope for the best.
Lots to talk about. Just while we're on the boxing talk, we might as well just have a quick talk about it, because there's talk about AJ against Wilder, Usyk against Fury, and then the winners of those fighting each other. Who do you have as winners in those two fights? Who do you have? AJ, Wilder? Who do you reckon's got the
It's
winner?
a weird one because styles make fights, right? So, like, on some weird level, like Usyk could beat Fury, Wilder could beat AJ, and then Wilder could somehow knock Usyk out with one lucky punch. Like, that's how weird. But if I had to put my house on it, I'd always put my house on Usyk because he wins rounds, and I've never seen him like properly hurt before, aside from the one to the balls. And I think that Usyk will grab a few rounds early on with Fury, and Fury will be chasing the fight. And I don't think Fury moves like he used to. I think he's slowing down, but a lot of people, it's hard to tell when he's in there with Chisora and Dillian White because they're so slow themselves. But I think we'll see how slow Fury is in that fight compared to the old Fury, and I think he'll get outpointed. I could be wrong though, because one big shot from him and it'll change everything. So Usyk's my guy.
Fair play, boys. You got winners out of those?
Not for me. I don't really follow boxing that much. With Barry McGuigan back in my day, in Ireland, that was the big name. But,
I'd fancy Wilder to beat AJ, and then I think Usyk would beat Fury, and then it'd be an interesting final, as you say, Brian, because
it's a weird one.
Yeah, it just depends, I suppose. Yeah. The boxer or the puncher.
Yeah. I think Wilder smokes AJ. Unfortunately, I just don't think AJ's mentally. He's just not aggressive enough anymore. I think he'll be too scared, and Wilder'll hit him.
Yeah. We've got a good question here for you, Brian, from Carl Seggy. And he says, now that we have a better team, are you going to bring back FC24 FIFA content?
Oh, no, I can't handle FIFA. It does my fucking head in. I always end up quitting. I can't, man. Even at my age now, I'm still a fucking child when I play that game. So I think I'll leave it because I don't want to humiliate myself any more than I already have. But when I do play, it's nice that we've got some good fucking players for a change. So that's Isak's a fucking beast on that game, I tell you. But we better get ready for the match anyway, lads. I'll definitely come back on sometime. though. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Spot on. Amazing to have you. Thank you for everyone in the chat as well. Brian, we'll let you go. And look, as you said, we'll get you back on soon to talk more Newcastle United. Just
Brian,
enjoy the game.
Yeah, prediction. I was going to say just prediction.
Oh, yeah. Prediction. 3-1 to the tune. Come on.
3-1.
Come on, lads. Enjoy the game, lads.
Top
See you,
man.
Brian.
Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Legend.
Nice one.
Brilliant to have him on. Thank you for all your questions as well, guys, in the chat. Sorry if we didn't get to everybody, but yeah, great to see and great to have Brian on.
And Pete, I have to admire you. You were playing a bit of bingo. Pete loves a bit of bingo. He was playing 12th man bingo. How many names did you drop? And you didn't even get Potts' name in there. You had Dan, you had the two Dans, you had we had Billy in the chat as well. It's all in there. It's a nice one.
No, it was great. It was great that they come in and showing the love as well.
It was.
I love this is why those guys are so good, because they show the love for us boys in our channel, and we do the same for theirs, and fair play. But yeah, it was good. Good chat. Enjoyed it. He's a straight talker, isn't he? This is why people enjoy watching him and listening to him. But as you said, we'll get him back on for a kind of wider stint. He had to go because he's obviously going live soon. But
as are we.
So are we. Yeah. We're going live.
We're going to be live in 10 minutes or 10 minutes plus. We'll be live on our other stream. So we'll start wrapping up this show and we'll jump on to the live watch along. So join us for that. And make sure you smash the like button and subscribe as well if you're new to Load It. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there, lads. Until the next one.
Thanks for watching. Pleasure as always. Yeah, you know what? Just great to have him on. You know what? Like this little old channel, Loaded Mag NUFC, just getting a guy that's got nearly 2 million subscribers coming and joining this for a chat to talk all things Newcastle. These are the reasons why we do what we do, lads, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great to have Brian on.
Definitely.
Right. How'd you like that?
We've got a match to get ready for.
We've got a match to win. Right? Come on. Good luck. See you in the next one.
Take care, guys.
Drink it.